I wonder if anyone has ever produced this snake. This may be a world's first, guys. I'm not sure, but this is definitely a... Hey, good morning everybody, and welcome to the vlog. What an amazing snake. I'll be totally honest with you, when it comes to ball pythons, and I say this a lot, but I truly do mean this. I think this is one of my favorite snakes, you know, a blue-eyed leucistic ball python. That was like the pinnacle for a long time when it came to the coolest ball pythons you could possibly get. And guess what? Today in the vlog, we're gonna cut her clutch. That's right, she laid 8 beautiful eggs, and we're gonna see what's in those amazing eggs later on. What an absolute ripper. But before we get into cutting those snake eggs and see what kind of beautiful babies are in there, I'm going to talk a little bit about white snakes. Again, since the dawn of time, I think that white snakes have had kind of a mystic lore to them, right? And I'll talk a little bit about the history about that later on, but these guys were really the first white snakes that were offered in the reptile trade. Of course, these are leucistic Texas rat snakes, and they were produced, I think, in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, by a guy named Bernd Bechtel. When I was like 15 years old, this was like the pinnacle snake. I mean, I was like, I gotta have that white leucistic Texas rat snake, but they were like $300 and I was like a 15-year-old kid, so it took a while to come up with the money to buy one, but once I did, whoo doggy, I've loved them, and I've been keeping them ever since. And honestly, ever since, there's been this like huge demand every time a new white snake in a species is produced. Take for instance this white rainbow boa, unbelievably gorgeous. There was a guy named Joe Robson from Rare Earth, I don't know, back in the 90s, bought the original white rainbow. I'm not sure exactly where it came from, but unfortunately he had to sell it years later because of some health issues, and a buddy of mine, Ian from Outback Reptile, bought the original white rainbow boa for $120,000. Now I get to work with them, and they're not nearly as costly now. I think they're about $500, $600, something like that. But rainbow boas are incredible, and kind of having that one that everyone wanted, the leucistic black-eyed white snake, has been pretty awesome. But really, I'm going to be honest with you guys, the white ball python was still kind of the holy grail.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary. 'Tis but a scratch.
At least back in the 90s. Everyone that was working with ball pythons, including me, wanted to have a white snake. And actually, the Snake Keepers, TSK, produced the first yellow belly to yellow belly, which is the ivory ball pythons, the super version, which was a white snake with a black eye. But they still had a little bit of pattern on them, so some people were still kind of striving for that pure white snake. And that's really when the magic started to happen. That's right. That's when the blue-eyed leucistic ball python happened. Now, weirdly enough, there was a bunch of ways to produce this, and it all happened within a couple years. This, of course, is the mom to the clutch that we're about to clutch, and she is actually a lesser bred to a het russo, but there's a bunch of different ways to do it. Take, for instance, the lesser ball pythons. This was kind of the first ones that were really being produced readily, which was lesser to lesser. The super version, which means about 1 in 4 on average, was going to be the white snake. Now, the het russos were actually the other one. A guy named Vin Russo, named after the Russo, of course, was the one that produced them, and he called them het russos because, of course, the super version is a blue-eyed leucistic ball python. I actually love the het russos, and I love the lessers because they're the whitest of the blue-eyed leucistics, and if you breed lesser to het russo, of course, you produce the leucistic, just like the mom of the clutch that we're about to cut. And then, wouldn't you know it, there was even another blue-eyed leucistic producer, and of course, that was the Mojave ball python. Now, when you bred Mojave to Mojave, you actually did produce a blue-eyed leucistic, but it had a little bit of a head pattern, a little bit similar to the ivory ball python, but weirdly enough, when you bred Mojave to lesser, you would still produce a pretty much a solid white blue-eyed snake. Not to confuse you guys too much, but there's actually something that's called a black-eyed leucistic, which is not in the blue-eyed leucistic complex, and that's actually the super fire, so when you breed fire to fire, you can produce the black-eyed leucistic ball python. So we went from no white ball pythons to a whole lot of white ball pythons just within a matter of a few years. Keeping in mind that this clutch of eggs, the mom was actually a lesser to a het russo, meaning every baby is going to either be a lesser or a het russo, but it was bred to a banana enchi pin, so we should have some pretty interesting combos. Let's go ahead and cut these little suckers. But let's stop stalling and jump right into cutting these eggs. And you can actually see there's one little animal right here that is actually pipped out. I can't see anything because it's just a couple slices, so these eggs are definitely ready to go. We're going to jump into this first egg, and again, it should be all lessers or het russos, but then a combination of all kinds of other stuff. So sure enough, we have, it looks like, weirdly enough, it looks like a het russo pinstripe. Okay, that makes sense, actually. Originally, I was like, what do we have here? But yeah, this is a Het Russo pinstripe. It could have been a kingpin, which was a lesser pinstripe, but this is actually a Het Russo pinstripe. So, okay, that made sense. For one second, I was like, uh-oh, do we have a different mail-in? I think we're okay now. I definitely hope we'll get some banana stuff as well. I tell you, I just love hatching stuff like this because it's so incredible. And then, what the heck is this? Huh. What is this? Let's see. I'm going to try to see what the heck is going on in this egg. Come on, little monkey. Okay, this is actually really interesting. Wow.
Wow.
I wonder if anyone has ever produced this snake. This may be a world's first, guys. I'm not sure. This is definitely an Enchi banana pinstripe Het Russo. And I've never seen one of these before, so I have a feeling that might be a world's first right there. That's pretty epic. I didn't even think we could produce that when I was going through my head, but it looks like we did. That is awesome. Oh my gosh, that is so absolutely incredible. And again, I just love leucistic animals, so it's really cool to be producing this stuff. Another really weird one. What the heck is this? I don't know what this is just so weird. Okay, so this looks like, I mean, it's definitely a banana. It's a pinstripe. It looks like it's an Enchi. Maybe it's a lesser, so maybe it's the same one as the before, but instead of Het Russo, it's lesser. It looks much more white, much more muted. I don't really know. Until that one crawls out, it's a mystery. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect this clutch to be as awesome as it is, so this is pretty freaking cool. I can't wait to cut the rest of these eggs right now. Oh my gosh, how awesome is this? Okay, we have another really cool kind of, okay, see, this is what's so bizarre. This is definitely a banana Enchi kingpin, which is a lesser and a pinstripe. So what is this one? Because I was thinking maybe that was what this one is. This one looks completely different. The one we just cut before is like really white and I don't know, guys. I tell you, that's the thing about all reptiles and living animals for that matter. Just when you think you know everything, which I never think I know everything, but just when you think you have a handle on things, it just blows up and it just goes crazy on you. So another mystery snake, but this one is cool because this is definitely a banana Enchi kingpin, which is the lesser and the pinstripe. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the egg that's already pipped out and see what's in this little monkey. This one was definitely interested in oh, it just popped out just really quick. What the heck is going on here? All right, so this one is, again, just again, everything in this clutch has to be a lesser or a Het Russo. Remember, because of the actual blue-eyed leucistic animal. So what we have here is, again, this one looks like a banana pinstripe Het Russo. So no Enchi in that one, at least it doesn't appear. Gosh, I tell you guys, this was way cooler than I had anticipated when I started to cut this clutch. And what do we have here? Looks like actually the exact same animal, probably. This is actually probably a banana Het Russo pinstripe as well. So, okay, so we've got a couple of those. So far, it's really cool because we've only gotten one non-banana animal, which is cool as could be, right? We've got 2 eggs left to cut really quick. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait till that one mystery animal crawls out so I can see what the heck is actually going on with it. It looks so absolutely incredible. Okay, so again, remember I told you it's got to be either a lesser or it's got to be a Het Russo. This is just a kingpin. So this was just like that banana Enchi kingpin, but this is just a normal kingpin, which is just a lesser and a pinstripe. So that's kind of the most normal animal we've gotten so far. And then last egg. Let's see what happens with this. What a crazy clutch. I tell you what, this has been absolutely incredible. Oh, and guess what? We ended kind of on a little bit of a low note because, again, it's just another kingpin, a lesser pinstripe. But, oh my gosh, there is some crazy animals in this clutch. And I think maybe 2 worlds first, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely that banana Het Russo Enchi pinstripe, I think is a world's first. And then this one here that's really white and faded, hardly any pattern at all. That's got to be a world's first if I can ever figure out the genetics. But who knows? Regardless, that is it. I hope that you guys enjoyed the white snake egg cutting as much as I had. Just a quick check-in, see what kind of calibers we hatched out today. Ooh, I like these guys. These are actually greenish rat snakes. I just think that they're really cool. They're kind of a really common snake. They're not very expensive, but I think they're absolutely amazing. I think that they're super cool. These guys will lose all of their pattern or most of their pattern. Sometimes they'll have a little bit of striping down their back, but they lose those saddles right there and they turn this greenish color when they get bigger. And ooh, look at that feist. Ow! What is going on, little buddy? A feisty little monkey right there, but I think they're absolutely incredible, and it's cool that we hatched some out. Look at all these little monkeys right here. And again, look at how feisty they are. Oh my gosh, you guys are so silly. Oh my gosh, such big attitudes for such a little snake, that's for sure. Oh, and look at this. This is actually really cool. Oh, look at, there's a little head. Oh, it just popped back right in. Of course, these are high white, black and white California king snakes, and I absolutely love them. They're so cool. I mean, look at this kind of crazy cool pattern right there with this one. Woohoo! I tell you what, these are absolutely incredible. Just have a couple babies out right now. We have a bunch more eggs that are due to hatch right here, so, but it's cool. These are the first California king snakes hatch of the year, and I am super excited about it. And again, that fascination with white snakes. I go back to the first ever Reptile Expo in Florida, which was the International Reptile Expo, and I've talked about it before. I saw this big white Burmese python that Bob Clark had. Unfortunately, it was never able to be reproduced, but in the meantime, they produced black-eyed leucistic reticulated pythons like Casper here. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was really inspired by Jay over at Prehistoric. He had a big white reticulated python and then a jet black python, and I thought, at the Reptera, we gotta have a white retic and a black retic. So Casper has been amazing. I mean, it's getting big, becoming way better at handling, and just look at how stunning that is. There's just something amazing about a snake like Casper. And again, I realize I'm going the polar opposite, talking all about white snakes today, but I did mention Night Fury, the black reticulated python. Of course, this is a motley golden child. Unbelievable. I mean, look at how big he's getting, and the camera never picks up that iridescence that you'd really like to. Everyone that goes to Reptarium sees this animal and goes, oh my God, it's so much more impressive than I see on film. But regardless, I have to throw this in. But for now, let's get back to white snakes. Throughout history, white snakes have always been sought after as a kind of spiritual animal. They're known for energy, transformation, long life. As a matter of fact, there's a Chinese legend called the Madam of the White Snake that actually helps transform and actually is said to be immortal. When dreaming about white snakes, it's said that it's for good luck or good fortune. In Japan, it's actually a god of fertility. And throughout history, typically a white snake is in a positive way. There has never been any legends of negativity when it comes to white snakes, and they've been a fascination since the dawn of time. And of course, then there's Perdita, who is the black and white snake. And it's interesting, since we actually opened up the Reptarium, the one thing that we found is that people seem to fear white snakes a little less than darker snakes. Not exactly sure what that is, but almost everyone that comes in actually is more willing to hold Perdita or Casper or a white snake, and they're a little bit more afraid of, say, Night Fury, which is pretty interesting. Regardless, it's a great way to actually learn about how we can get people over their fears, and the fact that you have this absolutely gorgeous animal like Perdita here seems to work here at the Reptarium. Listen, if you guys like this video, go ahead and check this video out right here. It's kind of similar, and a whole playlist if you'd like to check out that playlist as well. And while you're at it, make sure you smash that subscribe button right over here and turn those post notifications on. Have a wonderful day. I love your beautiful faces. Be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you tomorrow.